Welcome, folks. Welcome. We'll be getting started here in a little bit. Welcome, welcome, folks. Let me get on. Due to we are testing a new Wi-Fi here. Hopefully it'll work. We're going to be able to get two on the camera. I'm not sure if Jim is going to be here to join us tonight. We are only allowing two guests, myself and Coach Jim on the camera. Let me turn down this music because it's a little bit loud, isn't it? No, no, no. All right, welcome, welcome, guest, soldier in the making. Welcome to your hour of power. Welcome to your hour of power, your solution interaction podcast. There we go. Got to get all distractions out of the way. Okay. Your solution interaction podcast. We are live. So I'm going to invite you to get in, buckle up, turn down all distractions. Let me see. Did you grab a pen? Of course I did. I've got two of them. Did you invite a friend? I'm your host, Coach Santos, Stockton, out of Stockton, California here. Stockton, California. Founder of the Soldiers of Self-Mastery Movement, the world's #1 problem gambling interventionist. If you're new, and I'm an inventor too, by the way, if you're new, I'm going to invite you to turn on your subscriptions, your soldier scribe, and turn your notifications to all. If you're new, be sure to share a video, leave a comment. And I believe there's something going on here. So make sure that you turn down all distractions. It's time to decide, time to let go of your pride, time to step inside. By the way, problem gambling, problem addiction is a lie. It's like a French fry. It'll make you die. Turn on your belief. All right, today time is going to go by very quick. I'm excited to be here. I'm challenged to be here just like you. I'm going to invite you to turn on your belief. I'm going to invite you to turn on your belief. Santos, what does all that mean? Stay with us. We'll look into this into the broadcast. We are broadcasting live, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. So if you bring your question, I'm inviting you to challenge me. Bring a question. You can remain anonymous if you like, because I don't see who you are unless you're on camera. You can ask your question. Whatever it is that you're looking for, you're at the right place at the right time. This is the #1 community for RME, recovery made easier. All right, let me make sure that I got my, okay, good. So far, so well. It looks like the Wi-Fi is working. Hopefully it won't freeze up. Anyhow, all right, Tony Littleton. What's up? The Rock from Brockton. And I do want to thank those of you, by the way, it's funny, somebody said that about asking for money. Listen, I have a job. I work a regular job, but I do invite you to support this mission. And I'm going to continue to invite you. If you feel supported, whoever you are, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, if you feel supported, please contribute. In fact, I'm going to ask you to at least donate $20, at least 20. Doesn't have to be you on this broadcast, but if you're watching this mission and you are seeing the work, $20 wouldn't be difficult for you to give. Okay, so that's all I'm asking. Helps pay the bills, and we can go forward. And I do have something for you. If when you donate, the first person that donates, I'm going to create a personal video just for you. As long as I have an email that I can send it, I'm going to send you a personal. It's just a 2-minute video. Encourage your socks, not off, but on, because I want to help you succeed. I want to help you get through that door. I want to help you climb that mountain. I want to help you go through it, around it, above it, underneath it, whatever it is that you need to do. I want to support you to do that. And you know it takes time and money and effort to do that. So I'm going to be taking on your questions. If you have something, please challenge me. I'm asking you, please challenge me. We can grow together and we can turn on our belief together. Or at least keep it on. All right? Okay. it doesn't look like. Oh, there's Jim. Hey, Jim, welcome. Did I put the? Let me see. Copy. We've got the invite link here. By the way, post a question. I got a proverb coming up here. Post a question, folks. Let's get into this. Let's take advantage of this time that we have. 45 minutes is going to go by very quick. You know what I mean? Salute you, brother. Gambling feels free. So damn good. That's right. Come on, you guys are just pumping my head up. Santos is the best leader in the anti-gambling community. True soldier. Appreciate that. He says, I really like my Mr. Anti-Gambler's podcast too because he does it throughout the week. Yes, he does a lot of. I believe he does a lot of Ken Smith. Let me see, Ken, welcome. Good to see you. Out of time. Good to see you. So true. The Rock, Tony. Okay. There's the. If Jim wants to come on, I'm looking for questions. I'm looking for questions here. I'm looking for questions, folks. I want to help you turn your belief on. I don't like that word help. I'm going to support you to turn your belief on. So for what? So you can believe, right? If you don't believe, none of this matters. If you don't believe, then none of this matters. Nothing matters if you don't believe. You must find a way to turn your belief on. All right, Psalm, this is the proverb for today, 139, 13 and 14. The post is in there here. Again, I'm looking for questions today. I'm looking for questions. You know, one thing that I want to let you know on the other side, either reality is bending you, right? Either reality is bending you, turning you into pretzel, or you are beginning to bend reality. What does that mean? That means stepping outside yourself, stepping into another zone of thinking and creativity. The third dimension. 139, 13. For thou hast possessed me. This is Psalm 139. For thou hast possessed my reins. Thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I love that. For I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. Fearfully and wonderfully I'm made. You know, we don't know. On this side of the world, we're not going to know. It looks like, by the way, if you're in the field out there, please let me know that the broadcast is moving along smoothly. You don't see any freezing up. Please let me know. The sound is coming through very good. Please let me know. So we were talking about entering into this third dimension as I got distracted with myself here. Anyways, I did lose train of thought, but that's okay. All right. Let me see. True. There's Jim. I'm going to add Jim to the stream. Hey, welcome, Jim.
Hi there, Santos. Good evening. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm working on super fantastic, terrific, over the top, man. Another year
Excellent.
free of gambling. No
Excellent.
complaints, man. I might get in trouble in other areas, but at least I'm not gambling.
hmm Beautiful.
Yeah, let me give you a thought here. How do you get past the fact that risking on other things that aren't gambling still makes you feel like you are gambling, or is it okay? That's an interesting question. We're going to take that on right here. Bring your questions. Jim, how do you feel about that? Jim, what do you think? Getting past the fact of something that you've done, and there's other areas that might be like a trigger, possibly, or maybe just messing with your psyche. You know what I mean? Similarities in life, like for instance, every once in a while I'll go somewhere and I'll hear like noises, like little, like ringing noises, or like just little noises, and it reminds me immediately of something that I used to do in the casino. Right? You ever get that little noises like pings and stuff? Anyways, Jim, I'm going to give you the opportunity uh, to go ahead and see what we can do
Yeah.
here.
So it's basically the triggers, right? There are certain triggers that cause us to react. It's the subconscious at work. Um, making us find that comfort zone, that comfortable place. Um, if you feel tense, if you feel nervous, if you feel scared, right? Certain situations put us in that place, right? and our body, our mind just immediately, goes for the safety zone. I mean, it's just like reaching out. Um, it kind of reminds me. It's not really related to gambling, but I mean, it's like the things that make me fly off the handle when people say certain things, and I think I would lose my temper. I'd get angry. I would say things that I would regret. And I remember and when those things happened again, I thought back to when I was feeling the way I did after reacting in such a way. I said, you know what, that's not good. Even though your mind and your body wants to go to that place of security. In that case, it was anger, and trying to show that I'm in control. You
Yeah.
know, the aftermath of that, it really
Trying to
did. It
show
made
you're in
me feel,
control.
yeah.
Trying to show you're in control.
Right, exactly. It's like I'm trying to prove to myself that yeah, I'm in control. I'm powerful by screaming and yelling and being like that kind of person. And then many times I would remember how I felt after that. It's like, man, you're a real jerk. That wasn't very mature. That wasn't a very noble way of responding. So if we can just connect those feelings with the memories of the negative consequences, I guess in gambling, right? Okay, remember that time when you got triggered by those unfriendly family members or those people at work, saying things to you. You remember, and how it pushed you over to the casino. But what happened? You say, I lost all my money. I lost my paycheck. And I couldn't pay the
Ouch.
bills, and I felt so stupid. I was crying at the end of it, man. I said, I want to kill myself. I want to kill myself driving back. It's like, do I want to go back to that? It's that you always talk about that, Santos. That's the good life is based upon good constant series of reminders, those good positive reminders. We need to remember. We got to remember and connect, those triggers to one, the negativity of the consequences, and two, where we want to go, a better place, right? So we have to use that as a tool. And yeah, we got to remember, we got to practice. I mean, I think, if we can just be more aware of our emotions and those triggers, it's like, okay, stop. I'm feeling a certain way. This is bad. I can feel I'm tensing up. I'm getting nervous, angry, scared. Okay, all right. Where is this directing me? What do I want to do? What's my natural inclination? Okay, and stop, breathe, and think. Okay, what's the best action that I can go ahead and do? Just pause. Pause, stop, and think. You know, and then maybe just that little pause, can just make you keep going on the freeway instead of exiting that onto that off ramp to the casino, right?
Or
Or
that
or
other thing, whatever it is that you're doing.
yeah, passing the Circle K or the convenience store so you don't buy that alcohol, right? Just that little thing. You stop and think. Stop and think. Emotion triggered. Stop and think. I mean, it's tough. I mean, because our subconscious, we're just so programmed to
Yeah.
work on autopilot. And we just go with what we're used to. Yeah, I mean, I gotta remember to do that kind of stuff too. But it's really helpful. It's really helpful. I mean, it's like being in control. I mean, not letting your emotions get control of you. It's
And,
tough. I mean, you're riding through the waves.
well, Jim, I know that we're used to saying certain key words and phrases and stuff, but I think when we say that it's difficult, anything in life, right, is anything, and everything in life is kind of difficult unless you have a way to make it easier for yourself, right? So, like you're saying, and of course, it is all of these things. And we're trying to answer, we're working on answering this question. If you got a question, by the way, please ask. Um, I'm answering this question. We're working on it here with Jim and I. How you get past the fact that risking, it also depends, when you were speaking, two things came to me. Environment, you mentioned environment. Of course, I mentioned environment also, I believe I did. And emotions, right? I.e., emotional, and EI, not AI, but EI. So environment has to do with emotions. If you can't focus and train your emotions, you got it. You may just have to work on changing your environment. Your environment has a lot to do with who you are and where you're going. But none of this matters, folks, if you don't turn on your belief, right? We can sit here and talk about many good things. The other thing that I want to bring up is there's something going on, Rock. There's something going on there that is troubling you. You're either it's troubling you or it's giving you a signal and it's speaking to you and you're just looking for confirmation. So it might be something that you're already aware of that you shouldn't be doing. But right, we're humans. Remember, I think I did this the last time. I think I'm going to start doing this on every broadcast. Oh, did I do it right? Oh boy, look at that. Anyhow, what is that? That's just where people are waiting to get hit right there in the forehead with that break of life, man. They're waiting. They should just put a mark on, right, and just walk around. And I'm not saying that funny, but it seems like that. Like people are just waiting for something to hit them hard. And it does. Life will hit you hard somewhere. If you put the
Sometimes
mark.
you bring up
Go ahead, Jim.
you bring up a good point, Santos, and I fall victim to this all the time. Um, yeah, life is challenging. It takes effort and work if you want to get to the good places. But I believe that gambling, it's just trying to get something for nothing. Not trying to figure out a way to get something for nothing. I'm guilty of like trying to cheat things. It's like, oh, I can probably stack that bowl, in the sink, just on the edge. Nothing will happen. It's a lot more convenient for me instead of taking a little bit extra time to move it in a safer place. And all of a sudden, the thing falls and breaks. I mean, I try to cheat. I was risking something. It's like, oh, I'm going to save a little bit of time. I'm just going to save a little bit of effort. I'm going to get away with this. And then
Yeah.
it always gets me, man. It always gets me. If I'm not careful, if I'm not thinking, if I'm not weighing the risks, you know, I'm going to
Yeah.
get the consequences. I'm going to get rained upon. So, I mean, I mean, it's kind of thrilling too, because, oh, I got away with it. I got away with it. I was able to, get something for nothing. It's a good feeling. I saved all that time and that effort. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it's alluring to do something like that instead of doing it the right way, the disciplined way. Um, so, I mean, like in the long run, I guess you pay now, you pay later, right? So, yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna pay either way, right? You're gonna pay either way. The thing that I'm trying to do, and I believe that this works, it's just a philosophy that I'm trying to paint into the minds of people. If I can get you to believe, right, that's not bad. Now, I'm not gonna do some evil things to try to get you to believe. No, I'm just gonna use words and my faith and this broadcast, maybe a few tools, right? We can actually convince ourselves to do more. We can turn this battle into a game because in a sense we are playing the game. You're playing a game, and if you don't know the rules, you're not going to win. You and I, we must, with all of these things that are going on, in order to get to that next level. I said this last week, I believe, Jim, that the mind, the pattern of thinking that got us to where we are today, especially if we're in the cave, is not going to be the mind that's going to get us out of the cave. You have to believe, you have to transform, you have to put yourself in an environment that's going to cause you to believe. That's why I say this is the right place, this is the right time, not because of me, not because of Jim. For some reason, there's an energy here within this community. hopefully that energy will continue to stay here long after we're gone. This is the right place and the right time. I want to do something real quick. I want to go on real quick here, if I can do this. Broadcast the TikTok. Also, we're kind of broadcasting on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. If there's a question, it'll come through. If there's no question, the broadcast will go, and it is what it is. So, there we go. People say, man, why has that guy got some marks on his forehead? I'm just trying to be an example here. Most people are waiting for the red brick to hit them right between the eyes. All right, Jim, I've talked a bunch. Let me get back to your thoughts here, and we're going to discuss this. Is there, before we get another question, let me see. Yeah, it's the truth, isn't it? Most people are waiting. I know I was, and I got hit with a red brick, but it didn't crack me. It broke me a little bit, but it didn't crack me. Or else I wouldn't be here. So, Laura, yeah, good to see you. Black marker. Hamill says bookies are everywhere. Go ahead, Jim. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah.
I see you
Yeah.
got
So
some thoughts going
if
on.
we just,
Oh, there's Mark too.
I think that's important to try to find as many tools as possible in our experiences day to day, especially the ones that are kind of negative. Um, I mean, like my my former employee, um, he died of cancer today. He was
Oh man.
put off the respirator, and yeah, he's
Ah.
gone. And I and death, can really kind of wake us up and make us think about, what's going on in our lives. We think about other people's lives, what happened to them, what they went through, and how they got to that point. And you ask yourself, well, you know, what can I learn from this? I mean, it's like, my gosh, I knew this person. You know, he had troubles in his life. You know, um, he had a lot of difficulties, and I can kind of relate to a lot of the things that, I mean, everyone can relate to something in someone's life who passed away, whether it be some kind of challenge, suffering, something that wasn't done, that could have been done, right? The mindset of, the person who unfortunately got to that point. I mean, I remember you were talking about like your mother's companion who died of colon cancer. It's like, what was going through his mindset when, it's like he refused to go to the doctors. Was it fear? Was it like, was it my ego? Was it something that prevented him from taking the responsibility to, do what was right for himself? It's like, wow, it's like, now he's gone. He suffered. He went through all those horrible things, you know, and was not able to accomplish. It's like, wow, that I could be in the same boat. I could be in the same situation. It's like, what can I learn from this? So my point is that, negative things in life that happen to us or other people, we gotta, I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but we gotta use whatever we can as tools to help us, guide us in a better direction. We just got to be alert to this stuff. We can't be on autopilot cruise control, and just go with the flow, go with, what our subconscious just directs us to. We got to, sometimes we do need to get hit in the head with a brick. That brick that hit you in the head woke you up. It says, oh man, you know, it's like, what's going on here? What's happening? If I keep on going down this path, I'm totally going to go ahead and hit a dead end, So yeah, I mean, just always kind of be aware. It's like, man, my emotions, why do I feel this way? What caused it? You know, you know, and try to develop some kind of tool, some type of tool that'll help you move in a better direction, a better perspective. Perspective is a tool that I like to go and think about, seeing something in a different way. You know, instead of being a negative thing, it could be actually a positive thing that can go ahead and fuel me to move you know, in a better way, being more conscientious, helping me remind myself, you know, in order to, to stop, pause, think, you know, and ask myself, what are the odds? If I choose this direction, what are the chances of me being successful? You know, if I choose this path, what are the chances of me just doing the same stupid thing over again? I think I saw a Reddit video about you know subtle ways of finding out how someone is stupid or dumb. And one of the things that kept on coming up was it's like doing the same thing over again, even though you experienced it and had something bad happen. You just keep doing it. And that kind
Yeah.
of makes sense. It's like repeat. It's like that's the insanity, doing the same thing over again, expecting a different result. So I'm thinking, man, let me go and think about this experience that I just had. It was a negative experience. What can I learn from it? Man, I don't want to go out and do the same thing. I don't want to be stupid. I don't want to be dumb. To myself, I want to improve. I want to get smart. you know it's okay to screw up, right? We just can't just keep doing it over and over again. And I understand, with the addictions, that the comfort zone, the dopamine hits, it's something powerful that you have to fight against, versus comparing it to the ultimate destruction that it can lead you down. um, but yeah, just being conscientious of the future pain that can happen could prevent you from being stupid, being dumb, doing that insane thing of repeating the same process. You know, like going to the casino again, or doing the drugs again, or overeating, or whatever it is.
Or it could be just you got a bad habit of taking advantage of people, right? That could be a really bad addiction too, taking advantage of people, not understanding your environment, not being sensitive to your environment. Now, a lot of the stuff that we go through, or we should be growing through, has to do with trauma. I read a proverb earlier today, and here at the podcast, and I said the proverb mentioned fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm learning about natural cures today that I didn't know were even available. We've got all this technology, we've got artificial intelligence, and yet we've got these addictions and triggers just uh, running around rampant, and people are just like, it's almost like we're just like an Amazon delivery truck, going here, going there, going back, going here, going there. We need to basically, the bottom line is we need to create the environment. Jim, you mentioned earlier taking a minute, just thinking, right? Taking a thought before you give in to a trigger, to a temptation, to something. If when you train yourself to take that minute or two, actually seconds before the trigger, and you can do it's again, it's a game. Recovery from any type of addiction can be turned into a game, but you got to believe it's possible. See, everything goes back to turning on your belief, to believing in yourself, to knowing what does the word belief mean? What does the word believing mean? Right? I already read it one time. Read it again. Read the word belief again. What does it really mean? What happens to you deep down inside when you read the word belief? Oh, what word belief means such and such. Okay, I already know what it means. Keep reading it and see what happens. You must find a way to turn your belief on in anything you do. If you don't turn your belief on, you're going to take action. You may end up falling out. You may end up running out of gasoline. But then again, you take actions, your emotions usually will follow. But you're not going to take action unless you believe. So why are we here? What's this community about? Believing, turning on your belief. Well, it's like a game. Yeah, it is like a game. You just got to keep playing it until it becomes part of your second nature. It's like we're becoming kids again, right? We're adults, but we're becoming kids again in the imagination station, in the creativity. And, what could I do with my life? It's a wreck. It's a mess. I'm gambling. I'm smoking. I'm drinking. I'm too much sex and all. But what can I do to myself to redeem myself, to turn around? That's the fun, man. That's the challenge, man. That's the fun part right there. It's just figuring out where the next step is and how you're going to get there. But if you're thinking about, oh man, I got to change, it's going to take hard, it's going to be withdrawals, I got addictions, I tried this before, I did this other person, let it all go. Let it all go. Anyways, I am looking for one more question, two more questions there. 30 minutes into the broadcast. Shout out to Facebook, shout out to LinkedIn, shout out to YouTube. Hey, City by the Bay, welcome. Welcome. We got quite a bit of little crowd. So what Jim is sharing, in fact, we've been answering that question that the Rock from Brockton had. I think we've probably overshared on it. But on this broadcast already, we've already gotten the message, So we can just leave right now and start building. Isn't it good when, Jim, you've been to a webinar and you're there and you're soaking up all this knowledge and then it's time to go, man? You feel really good, huh? If you've been to a educational seminar, it feels good to get up and leave after you've been there 2 days or 1 day or 3 hours. Because now it's time to jump. Yeah, now it's time to take action. You know what I'm saying? You got to take action. Why are we here? Take action.
Immediately. There's a law. I remember Jim Rohn talked about the law of diminishing intent. So, you got to take action immediately. Once you get inspired, you got to go out and use that inspiration. You just go, because it's like you let it pass, the fire turns into just to nothing. It just burns out. So, yeah, action is. I remember talking about fake it till you make it. I don't really like that phrase, fake it till you make it, because it's like you talk about being like a kid, right? Being like children, use your imagination, being like a kid. Kid tries to walk, right? When the kid tries to walk, he stumbles and falls, right? Is he faking it? He's not really faking it. He's just trying, right? Trying to figure out it, falls down. Okay, that didn't work. Let me try again, okay. Oh, I almost did, right? That's not faking it. That's actually, doing stuff in spite of, knowing that you're going to fall. You can fall. Chances are you're probably going to fall, but every time you fall, you learn a little bit. And you just keep going. You get better. That's so interesting where we have to.
You got to believe, though, Jim. You got to believe that that's possible. Like you just said, you got to believe you can get better.
You got to fight that programmed subconscious training, those voices saying, oh, why even bother? You're going to fail. Look, you just failed. Give it up, man. You tried it before, it's like, don't even, who do you think you are? Right. Those voices. I mean, it's just, it's electronically programmed, right? That software is in our brain. And it's really, really something to fight. You got to, like you said, make it a game. That's the enemy. That's my opponent right there. Now I'm going to kick his ass, He's not going to go ahead and force that programming on me, that old tape. So, yeah.
And it takes work. I mean, it takes work, but we can say it's hard. You can say it's hard, or you can say it's easy. Right? You can say something's easy or you can say something's hard. It's your choice. But if you tell somebody something's hard and you keep telling them it's hard, what's the likelihood that they're probably going to do it? They may do it. They may accept it as a challenge. But if you tell somebody it's a little bit more easier, simpler, it kind of smooths, it creates the environment. Right? When we're talking about environment, you got to create your own environment. You have to basically retrain your brain because folks, we're being manhandled out there. This whole world, I was gonna put a post on TikTok and I didn't. I kind of felt bad after I thought about it. I went to the post office and I had a little bit of an experience with the postal clerk. I'm sitting there, I've been in the post office many times and I've used their packaging tape many times that they provided. I guess they don't provide those items anymore. So I'm sitting here listening to this lady. She's telling me that they've never provided these things, that they've never had the tape, that that's not acceptable and all of these things. I'm thinking, okay, but it's not been that way until today for me. So she's trying to feed me all of these things. And I realized, man, this lady's programmed. I realize she's got a lot of red tape and policies and all of these things, rules and regulations. And that's what she was sharing with me. I'm like, lady, you can't hear, you're not hearing me. You're not picking up on my ESL. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, do you have any tape? I grabbed the tape that she had and I used it. And it was clear tape. And it worked fine. So again, we're dealing with mental programming. Mental programming. And you're either getting worse with your program or you're deprogramming. You're deprogramming yourself. Like, what is it? Like decontaminating yourself. And like, that's why I enjoy coming here and talking about these things, because you can learn little bits. And by the way, I'm focusing on questions as much as I can. I know this is a little bit late for you, but it says, can sudden death of a loved one trigger cognitive dissonance? It can. You know, I thought it would trigger dissonance in myself when my father passed away. That was an experience for me that I've never, it's kind of a new experience for me. And I didn't think that I would be able to handle it the way I did. I prepared everything. I'm the only son. I'm the only one available, so I had to prepare everything. And then I sat there and looked at the corpse. My dad. I looked at my dad. He's sitting there. His body's just laying on a gurney, and I'm sitting there looking at him, and I'm like, that's just the house. The inside's gone. His journey's done. His clock is over. And I used to look at my dad and I thought, man, my dad's really affected in the mind. I can tell because of the way he behaves and what he says. My dad was not a learned man. But again, if we're not careful, that's what happens to us. We become done by these machines and these addictions and all of this crap and all of these lies that try to feed our minds that, you're an addict. You're an addict. Well, you know what? Yeah, the word, it really exists. But you also have a mind that you can use creatively to get yourself out of that cave that you feel that you're in. You can use your mind, step into that third dimension. And I'm freezing up. Darn it. So the Wi-Fi wasn't as good as I thought it was.
Santos, you're talking about death, and the person who passed away, I even had my poor little cats. I had these couple of cats for like maybe 12, 13 years, and,
Wow.
March, I had to let one go. And the next month, the other cat, I had to let her go, and like, with this person passing away, I'm thinking, after they pass, I can choose to think about them. I can choose to think about the good times, the positive. I can go ahead and dwell on all the sad, the suffering.
Yeah.
I have a choice right there. Why not focus on the good? Why not focus on the good times I spent with these individuals, my little cats and this person? Why focus on all the negativity and the suffering and the stuff? Because they're gone. They're gone. I mean, the pain and the suffering, it's momentary, right? I mean, that's what we go through, right? We don't suffer forever, right?
Yeah.
And I think we have that choice, and we can focus that even on our own lives. Yes, we had a horrible experience, like you lost a lot of money at the casino or something like that. But you know what? That was a moment, but I'm not gonna choose to dwell, in the negativity, the depression, the self-hatred.
Exactly.
I choose not to. I choose not to. I don't have to do that because there's other times where I was strong. You know, I can learn from this. So yeah, I think reminding ourselves that we do have a choice of what to think about, right? What to focus our attention on is very important, if we were to go out and improve.
Exactly. Exactly. And you said, in fact, that's a good call to action right there, is to remember what you've been through, remember what you've gotten through. It's good to just take a minute. In fact, I just redid the video, 5 steps. It's a video that you get, a short 3-4 minute video that you get when you sign up for SciTech, Stay in Touch email communication. I send it right to your inbox. It's just 5 pointers, 5 very powerful pointers. And it looks like I'm having trouble with the Wi-Fi again. Darn it. Okay. So I know that the Wi-Fi doesn't work like I thought it would. There's another package. So remembering, wow, this is even bad. Seems like it's just getting worse. Okay. Well, we're going to be ending the broadcast pretty soon. But that's a good place to think about right there is take a minute or two and reflect on what you've been through. Those, I call them POIs, points of interest, right? Those, it encourages you. Again, if you're not creating your own environment, you're not going to be able to turn on your belief. If you're not creating the environment, it's going to be hard for you to turn on belief. You'll continue to focus on doubting. You continue to, Jim said, take a minute. Take a minute before something happens and think. Imagine if the whole world would take a minute before they did something wicked and just think. The whole world would be in a better place. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen. Too many focus thieves out there. And it seems like we're driving in Ferraris called life, right? People are just driving life so fast, going here, going there, not even stopping to think. It's like your Ferrari's too fast, man. You got to put some better brakes on that machine, or else you're going to break somewhere. You must stop and think about what it is that's happening in your life, what's going on, your environment. If you don't have belief in yourself, you need to change environment. You need to start looking to create a better environment for yourself. All right, we're going to be getting done here. Yeah, but unfortunately, I'm having issues with the Wi-Fi, and it is what it is. But well, we've had a great crowd. Once again, I want to send a shout out to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Again, if we're supporting you, if we are supporting you, you know, is it hard? Somebody said, Santos, you're a beggar. I don't give a shit what people think of me. I got to pay for all this stuff. I got to pay to support people. So why not ask for help, right? If I'm supporting you in some way, why not ask for help? I'm not ashamed. People say, people can talk all the shit they want. There's other channels, this and that, but you know what? I'm just going to do my thing. And if you're part of this community, I'm going to help you build your belief. I'll drag you kicking and screaming a little bit, but I'm going to help you build your belief. And you can thank me later for it, right? I'm sure you will, maybe. Right? You're helping people turn on their belief. So anyways, $20 gift. You're going to get a video from me. Okay, $20 gift to help pay the bills, help support this mission. Support by sharing videos, commenting, likes. That helps. Okay. I would be nice if I could get rich off this mission. It would be nice, right? If I could get rich, but that's not going to happen. What we get, what donations come in, whether it's $1, $5, or $25, it all goes towards this mission. Paying folks to do work, editing videos. We've got streamlined podcasts going on, so it takes money. All right. So no apologies for asking for donations, especially if you feel supported. All right, with that said, I've got one small call to action. I know some people, I don't care. Neither should you care. You're on your recovery, man. You should work on making it easier. Right, Jim? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, when you talk about asking, it's like, hey, asking takes effort, and a lot of people don't want to put that kind of effort. I mean, it's like can't even ask for themselves. Hey, can you stop to think before you act on your temptation or your trigger? So it's asking from yourself. Can you do this little favor for me? But people can't even have the muster up the strength or the energy to do that. And look at where they get themselves in by not asking. What could be better for my life? Who can help me? Can someone help me? You know, you know, can this broadcast, somehow give me the information and the motivation needed, to help me? It's like, let me ask Santos a question. I mean, it's like simple stuff. I mean, the people who criticize you for, asking for donations, they're looking at themselves. They're really looking at themselves and saying, you know what, I got a problem because I can't even ask. I don't have the strength. I can't ask. I can't change my life. So I mean, that's something that we need to go and turn things around. The negativity that's thrown at us in the world, we go ahead and turn around and use that as a tool, to fight back.
Exactly. 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 Well, my call to action is, by the way, we're going to be back here on Sunday, Lord willing, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We may end up missing the next broadcast, which is going to be number 205, possibly because I'm going to be relocating. I'm not sure when. I want you to take this with you. I want you to take this with you. Limit your computer time. Limit your surf time on the computer. Limit, literally limit your time, and take time for yourself. The things that you've been putting off, right? Something you've been putting off because you're just on the TikTok, or you're on Facebook, or you're on YouTube, or you're on Instagram, or Pinterest, or Pinky Finger, or whatever. Take some time for yourself and start doing that thing, right? Get off the airwaves. I've been telling myself I got to stop spending less time in some areas on the internet and finish my book, finish writing my book, get down to it, get it over with, so I can re-put it back. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. And so, Jim, if you want to share your last words, I'm going to be closing here, 47 minutes into the broadcast. We're going to shut down on YouTube, on TikTok. Thank you guys for hanging out there on TikTok. And who knows, I may see you on my next live Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There we go. Let me finish up on that. So, what are the good words there?
Yeah, you talked about being mindful about our exposure to the internet, what's on the computer. We got to be mindful of how we're programming ourselves and how we should reprogram our mind. It's like, um, let's, instead of watching the nonsense, let's watch more of these shows, so I can start developing my belief. I'm going to reprogram. So cut out the BS videos, the nonsense, the
Cut out
dopamine
the fat,
nonsense. Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly, right. And get excited about watching these kinds of videos. Your videos, the Soldiers of Self Mastery channel, right? And start getting your dopamine hits from you know knowing that you can create and enhance your belief, on a positive direction, over and over again. I mean, that's what we need to do. We need to start really reprogramming ourselves, and it starts with being mindful of what we're sticking in our mind. What are we watching? What are we feeding our mind? Okay, so yeah, you're right. Watch out for the garbage, online.
Yep. There you have it, folks. Man, it's hard for me to believe. I'm just wondering if it's this live stream that freezes up like it does. I'm going to have to look into this further. Oh, man, technology. Anyways, with that said, folks, I want to just send a shout out to Out of Time. There we go, Out of Time. Bill, you need to self exclude ASAP. There you go. Bill Divine. Ken, there's Bill Divine. Good to see you. I don't know, first time here. Well, never mind. I figure out myself. Maybe you asked the question. Let me look and see. By the way, um, if you are if you're not connected to SciTech, Stay in Touch email communication, there's a link right there. And I'm going to send you a 5-step video, a little short 5-step video to help you start building your belief, man, to get you going in the right direction. If you're not signed up with SciTech. All right. So, Bill, good to see you here. The Rock from Brockton, Laura, Mark. There's Laura, Ken, Hamill. Good to see you here. And then there was Race. Good to see you, Race. City by the Bay. Good to see you. Wow, there's been many people here. Um, Martha was here. Hello, Martha. Yes. Laura says she's got 4 cats and 1 dog. So she relates to you, Jim, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah,
Right.
family.
Who else is here? Let me see. Oh, maybe he missed my question here. Let me see. How do you deal with cravings? There we go. I want to stop, but I feel like I'm not in control, even though I keep saying no. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Bill. You're at the right place at the right time. I'm glad you're here. You continue to be here, you're going to get more of this answer. We can provide you a little bit of an answer here. How do you deal with the cravings? I deal with them very specifically. In fact, the more clarity, Jim talked about clarity, having clarity, right? The more clear you can see, the better you can defeat the enemy. That's the issue with most people. They're just so distracted. They're so programmed in the mind, they don't even know where to start. This is a great place to be. This community is one of the best communities for recovery. So just keep coming back, build up your reserves, turn on your belief. Um, Other than that, just make sure you sign up for the email and we can communicate that way. Who else was here? Let me see. There was somebody else that I missed. Tony, there we go. Tony, good to see you, Tony Littleton. He answered that question. And who else was here?
Yeah, in regards to Bill,
Somebody
I would
else.
think that I believe Bill. I think Bill, you need to really. I mean, like you say, you're not in control. You got to say you are in control. You are in control. That's a choice right there, and you're in control of connecting those cravings to the consequences that are down the road. You had many negative consequences, and you have to go ahead and associate those negative consequences to that craving. And once you start really associating and seeing it clear that if I choose to go down this path, satisfy my craving, I'm going to go ahead and be in a world of hurt. I'm going to be in a world of hurt. And I'm going to go ahead and remember that very clearly. Very clearly. I'm going to go and remember the tears in my eyes. I'm going to remember me pounding the steering wheel, you know, slapping myself or pulling my hair, crying, screaming. I'm going to remember that, and it's just going to be, something so bad that you know what? Nah, I'm done with that. That cravings, it's not worth it, you know. And once you start getting that that uh, that association, you know, you're in control, right? But yeah, it's a real choice. It's a choice, right? Make that effort, that little effort, right? Just a little effort, right? You know, and it's easy to do. It's easy not to do, right? It's easy to do. It's easy not to do. Let's do the easy to do, right?
Yeah, one thing before I end here. Thank you, Jim. Well said. One of the reasons why I ask for donations it's not because I need money. One of the reasons why I ask for donations is because if when you give, it does something to you. It causes you to think, right? So you take things a little bit more serious when you put out a bill, right? When you put money, it causes you to think. It causes you to. It basically brings you into another level of accountability. Is what it does. Because you're not, unless you're a problem gambler or a really bad addict. Obviously, you don't care. Your brain's been rewired, right? Your conference room is filled with the wrong executives. You got to get them out. You got to put a sign there for the board and say you're not welcome here anymore. We close shop.
I
So
think
again,
I
we're
think
freezing up.
also
We're freezing up here.
the idea of committing. When you give a little bit of money, you're actually committing to, an organization, a process, you know, um, that's beneficial to you. That's something that you believe in. You actually buy into it. You're buying into
Yeah,
something that's good for you. So I
yeah.
mean,
Especially if it's good for you.
mhm. Yeah, you're spending your time here, right? You can spend your money too, right? I mean, think about what you could be doing, right now. You could be over at the casino. You could be over at the bar. You could be, doing all sorts of mischief, but you're spending your time here. You're spending your time here. I mean, you can't get your time back, you know, you can't get your time back, but you are investing it into something that's going to be good for you, you know, and putting your time, putting your money in,
Exactly.
putting your attention. That's where your focus is, right? Your energy, right? Your money, your time, your focus, right? Where are we putting
Mhm.
it? We're putting it here, into something that's positive for not only you, but everyone else. I mean, that's a pretty noble thing. That's a noble thing. That's good. That's really good, you know? And I mean,
Plus, it makes you feel good too when you give. When you give a donation financially, it makes you feel good. It does something to you. It makes you feel good. So, I mean, it does to me when I give. And sometimes you don't want to give. Sometimes you're selfish. I'm selfish. I don't want to give, and it happens. But you overcome that. You overcome it. You retrain your brain, as I mentioned. Your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders, and that's what we're here for. So, with that said, folks, I really want to thank all of you guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, guests, soldiers in the making. Please turn on your belief. And what will you use it for? What could that spark tonight, today, after this broadcast? Create an idea for you and say, yeah, you know what? I'm going to start believing. I'm going to start believing. What do you got to lose? All right, folks. That's it for me. I'm done. This is the last. Jim, we're done. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Santos, for today's wisdom and encouragement. I've been more busy jotting down notes. There we go. I love that, man. You just made my day, brother. All right, Tony. With that said, I'll see you guys all next week. Appreciate the broadcast here. We're going to let TikTok go. Thank you, TikTok. Maybe they'll join us on Sunday next weekend. Recovery Made Easy. And again, take some time for yourself. Do something. Do something. Turn on your belief. I'll see you next Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Lord willing. Oh, we may not make that broadcast. It might be the next Sunday. So, but in the meantime, there's going to be some powerful videos put on YouTube. Life changing. All right. Peace through strength, guys. Jim,
thank you,
I'll see you on the
Santos.
next broadcast. Lord willing. Take great care, brother.
Thank you very much. You have a good week, Santos. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, guys.